One of the biggest fears people have when they take on more responsibility either in their lives or in their career is of being assertive. It's strange, isn't it? Why would people worry about expressing themselves and letting others know how they feel? Well, that's what this episode is all about, so let's get started. Hi, this is Simon Phillips. Welcome back. This episode is all about being assertive, which is something that people often confuse. So let's get started by thinking about what assertiveness isn't. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive. That's the biggest fear people have. They fear that if they start telling people how they think and how they feel and being very direct about it, that others will think them to be aggressive. And actually that couldn't be further from the truth, because aggression is when you are imposing yourself on other people, whereas assertiveness doesn't do that. The other thing that assertiveness isn't is pushy. People again fear that they are, right now today, they are nice people. They are people that others respect and love being around. And so their concern is if they change that, if all of a sudden they start telling people what they think and feel, that actually people will think that they're being pushy. But it isn't that. It's also not a sharp route to being unpopular either. Again, people concerned, will I become unpopular if I start expressing my own opinions? You won't. But let me tell you why. Because assertiveness is an effectiveness strategy. Remember, effectiveness is doing the right thing and telling people how you feel, letting them know your thoughts on something is absolutely the right thing to do in almost every circumstance. And the reason for that is because assertiveness is a helpful thing to bring to your relationships. If you're telling people exactly how you feel with no equivocation, then that enables them to get on with the situation. It lets them know exactly how you feel. Now, we've all been there when it comes to trying to choose what we're going to watch on TV next or what activity we're going to do today. And typically, the non-assertive person will be, you'll recognize the phrasing, oh, it's fine, whatever you'd like to do. Now, don't confuse this conversation with that conversation. Sometimes that lack of assertiveness is actually people just rubbing along together, trying to understand how we're going to make the best decision today. And maybe they're not absolutely fixed on anything particular and they don't have strong opinions either way. But don't confuse not having strong opinions with not being assertive. Assertiveness is literally just letting people know if you do have an opinion and if you do have a thought or you do have a strong feeling about something, you're sharing that so that they know where they stand. And as you can imagine, if you share with people how you feel and how you think, you get that off your chest. It's not something that's stuck in your mind. So this is actually good for you. Being assertive is a great resilient strategy because it's basically ensuring that you're not spending your time getting anxious about something or worrying about something that you've done already. Assertiveness is literally just letting people know what's on your mind or how you feel about something, but it's done in a very special way. And that's what I want to talk about next. Being assertive is a way of looking after yourself and looking after others. Because assertiveness comes with it a high level of respect for the other people that we engage with. So we're not sharing our thoughts and feelings with any huge expectation that that is exactly how things will evolve. Instead, we're literally adding our voice to the conversation or adding our voice to the circumstances so that everyone is clear how we think and how we feel about it at the outset. Now, real collaborators, people who are happy in their souls, if you like, and can be assertive without worrying about being perceived as aggressive, are open-minded to where that conversation will go. And they will tell people along the way, well, that's an interesting point. I agree with that. Let's keep going. So it's an incredibly collaborative approach to all of our conversations if we just keep asserting how we think and feel about something as we go. And it's for this reason that assertive behaviour is great when it comes to compromise, because we're not necessarily wedded to anything. We're just saying how we think or feel about something in the moment. Very happy to be persuaded in different directions because we have a collaborative mindset when it comes to decision making if we're just being assertive about how we think about it. And this is why we end up in win-win-win circumstances if we are assertive in our conversations. We win because we're looking after ourselves. The other people win because we're looking after them, we're being collaborative, we're listening, and we're not pushing our opinions on them. And as a result, we all win because we end up in a space where we're happily compromising, or we are happily moving down with one agenda or the other based on the fact that we both agree. So let me tell you where this sometimes goes wrong for people. There's a sort of scale of behaviour here that we're talking about, from passivity, when we're passive, through to aggression. And the thing that people fear when they're considering being assertive is being perceived as aggressive. But what's interesting is, if we're not assertive and things move ahead in a way that we don't like, or we don't feel like we've been heard, and we don't feel like other people are interested in what we've got to say, but we haven't actually proactively put our thoughts into the mix, where we end up is in a space called passive aggression. And passive aggression, as we all know, is when people have a thought process, have a way of thinking about something that maybe hasn't been expressed openly, but is expressed in the background and undermines the process, undermines the people that they're involved with. So it's ironic, isn't it? We fear being seen as aggressive, but our behaviour, if we haven't asserted our opinions and our thoughts, leads us down a path that's closer to that aggression than we actually wanted in the first place. Knowing that is important because it can help you decide, I don't want to be perceived that way. Let me explore how I can be assertive. So there are two things I'd like you to consider as you get started on this road to being more assertive. And the first one is to take ownership for your thoughts and your feelings. Use the word I. I feel this. I think that this is how this could evolve. By being very open and transparent about your thoughts and feelings, it enables other people to join in the conversation and get involved with you and work out what is going to be the final decision. If you hide behind other people are feeling this. I've heard on the grapevine that this is how people think about it. People can't actually engage you in a conversation about it because you've removed yourself one step. By owning your thoughts and feelings, it enables everybody around you to engage in a good conversation, speeding up decision-making processes, and also positioning you as somebody who has an active voice in the conversation. So this is a really simple and strong way of starting to be more assertive. And the second strategy I'd like you to deploy is your tone. Be calm, because all you're doing is letting people know your thoughts and feelings. You're not saying you're right. You're not saying they have to do anything as a result of you expressing your thoughts and feelings. You're just being very clear about those two things. So if you can be calm, give good eye contact, and generally just relax into the conversation, that enables the people around you to equally relax and feel like we're now in a proper conversation. All of this is going to increase your level of confidence, because through practicing this, using the word I, being calm in the way that you approach conversations, through practice, you will get feedback in a very immediate way. Others will respond to you differently to how they've responded to you if the way you've typically gone about things in the past has been to hide behind other people, be relatively passive aggressive when it comes to stating anything. So now they will be able to respond in a way that's excited about the concept, keen to engage with you and to argue the point, but not in a way that's detrimental to the outcome, but is in a way of building, so that between you can come up with some great outcomes. And of course, the more confident that you appear, and the more collaborative you are, and the more open you are to suggestions and real debate around issues, the more you will instill confidence in others. You're not demanding anything of them, you're literally just adding your voice to the conversation and letting them know that their voice is equally important. So it's a great strategy, isn't it? Just be more assertive, practice this. Practice using I more, practice being calmer in your conversations, and let me know in the comments below just exactly how that goes for you. I hope that's been helpful. Give me a like, a thumbs up if it has been, and subscribe so that you can get notified as soon as the next video comes out. Go and have a great week, and I'll see you here soon.